Thank you for listening to today's episode of Medical Device Global Market Access by Pure Global. Today we are focusing on a significant regulatory update from Singapore's Health Sciences Authority, or HSA, that directly impacts manufacturers of in vitro diagnostic tests for COVID-19. This change reflects a broader global shift in how health authorities are managing the long-term presence of the virus. During the height of the pandemic, COVID-19 presented a high and novel risk to public health. Consequently, the HSA, like many regulators worldwide, classified all related IVDs as Class D devices. This is the highest risk classification in Singapore's framework, reserved for devices that pose a high risk to both individual and public health. This classification mandated the most stringent regulatory requirements, including extensive clinical evidence, performance data, and a rigorous review process to ensure their safety and efficacy in an emergency situation. However, as the global situation has evolved, COVID-19 is now transitioning from a pandemic threat to an endemic disease. With increased population immunity and established clinical management protocols, the public health risk profile has changed. In recognition of this, the HSA has announced a pivotal change. Effective June 2, 2026, all COVID-19 in vitro diagnostic tests will be officially reclassified from Class D to Class C. This move aligns the regulatory oversight for COVID-19 tests with that of other infectious disease diagnostics that pose a moderate to high individual risk, but a moderate public health risk, such as tests for influenza or hepatitis. This reclassification has practical and significant implications for all manufacturers currently marketing or planning to market COVID-19 IVDs in Singapore. The primary impact is on the regulatory submission and maintenance process. The pathway for Class C devices, while still robust, is generally less burdensome than that for Class D. For new product submissions after the effective date, manufacturers can prepare their technical dossiers according to Class C requirements. This typically means the expectations for clinical evidence and analytical performance data, while still high, may be more streamlined compared to the extensive validation required for a Class D emergency use product. For manufacturers with existing COVID-19 IVDs already registered as Class D, this is not a time for inaction. You will need to manage the transition of your product registration to the new classification. The HSA will expect manufacturers to work with their Singapore registry, who is the official license holder, to update the device registration. This process will likely involve submitting a change notification or a similar administrative application to ensure the product license accurately reflects the new Class C status. Furthermore, post-market surveillance and vigilance reporting obligations may also be adjusted to align with the risk profile of a Class C device, potentially simplifying long-term compliance activities. To navigate this change effectively, we recommend several practical actions for your regulatory and quality teams. First, conduct a gap analysis of your technical documentation. Review your current Class D dossier against the HSA's published guidance for Class C IVDs. This will help you understand what documentation can be leveraged and identify any adjustments needed for future submissions or updates. Second, review and update your quality management system. Your procedures for risk management, post-market surveillance, and vigilance reporting should be assessed to ensure they are consistent with the responsibilities for a Class C device. Third, for those with new products in development, update your regulatory strategy. This reclassification could positively impact your timelines and resource allocation for entering the Singapore market, so your strategic planning should reflect this more accessible pathway. Finally, and most critically, engage proactively with your Singapore registrant. They are your essential partner in this process and will be crucial for executing the necessary registration updates with the HSA smoothly and efficiently. If you need assistance navigating this regulatory shift in Singapore or require support with global market access for your medical devices, please check out Pure Global. We provide end-to-end regulatory consulting, including local representation and submission management. For more resources, check the description for a link to our free AI tools and global regulatory database. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.